Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your attendance here today. Would you all please rise for the Fargo Police Department Honor Guard? Honor Guard. Thank you. Little microphone skullduggery this morning. Sorry about that. Would you please welcome one of our department chaplains, Sarah Siebold, to give us our invocation this morning.
Good morning. From Psalm 82 reads, God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. Give justice to the weak and the orphan. Maintain the right of the lowly and the destitute. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. If you join me in a word of prayer. Gracious God, Lord, we give you thanks and praise for this day and for these Academy graduates, Class 7, who will step into a life of service, a life of upholding your justice and caring for your people. Lord, we ask that you would bless this time of graduation and swearing in. We ask that you would help them to walk in the way of all of the Fargo Police Department that is committed to guardianship, committed to serving, committed to leadership, committed to all of those core values, Lord, that you've placed upon them. Help them to fulfill their call and to serve your people well. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Appreciate that. Welcome, everyone, to a really big day here for sure 9 people and their families. Others might be excited as well, and I appreciate your attendance. It's great to see our elected officials here, the mayor, Commissioner Kolpeck, city staff, our honor guard did a tremendous job, the rest of our department staff and other agencies in attendance. Really appreciate that support and partnership. And a big welcome to our 9 new officers from Fargo Police Department Academy 7. Chloe Bartles, Logan Fisher, Samuel Gravetti, Princeton Harris, Samuel Johnson, Joseph Perman, James D. Phillips, Taylor Rafsky, and O'Shane West. Welcome, everybody. Nice job on getting here. Equally important, let's recognize the families of our team members. And I've had the opportunity to meet with at least half the families prior to our event here today. Look forward to meeting more with the rest of you later on today. But really a pleasure to get a chance to sit down and take your questions and answer your questions and let you know a little bit more about our department and the organization that your loved one is going to be joining. So we really enjoy doing that. I appreciate that. Again, thank you for sharing your son and daughter with us. We're going to do our very best to take really good care of them and guide them along on a long and successful career. So please join me in a round of applause for the families of our new folks here. Before I continue with the rest of my remarks, I'd like to turn it over and introduce to you our mayor, Dr. Timothy Mahoney.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for all being here today. Before I say anything else, I'd like to also have a round of applause for our new graduates because it's always great to see a new class coming forth. And Chief, you got 9 this time, so congratulations. On behalf of the entire community, I want to congratulate all 9 of you. Your decision to pursue a career in public service is truly inspiring. You come from a variety of backgrounds and have different life experiences. And for me, it's really cool that somebody comes from Jamaica to join our team. But you've all made the same choice to serve the Fargo community, and for that, I commend you. A career in law enforcement is not a choice taken lightly, and I know each of you are setting out on this journey for the right reasons. When I asked why you joined the police department, you all had answers that showed you're ready to take on this challenge. You said you want to be guardians of the community, and you want to ensure the safety of the city. You said you are dedicated to helping and protecting others through police work. You want to bring about positive change, foster community inclusiveness, maintain public order, and uphold the law. And you said you have a desire to help others during their most difficult moments and will be a source of support in their worst days. These are all the right reasons. In our community, the police are looked upon as the people that would come in and help in a crisis, that will be there for when we have our worst days. And in our community, you are treated with respect and honor because we know you'll do the right thing. With strong values guiding you throughout your career, I have no doubt that you'll thrive within the ranks of the Fargo Police Department. All of you have achieved this milestone through hard work, but your loved ones had a big hand in helping you reach this point. To all the families and friends in the crowd, I know you are extremely proud of your graduates, which you should be. Thank you for everything you've done for them. They would not be here without your love and support. Let's give a round of applause for the families and friends. During the rigorous training, this is our 7th class, right, Chief? Fargo Police Academy. Our graduates learned firsthand that police work requires grit, determination, and courage. It is not for the faint of heart. During your careers as officers, you will have difficult days on the job. On those days, find the support of your fellow officers and family. Reach out to someone who trusts for the shoulder to lean on. Find strength and stability in those around you. You oftentimes, the code word that I think the police department has is, "I've got your back," in which a fellow officer will try to help you out in the times that are tough for you. There's no question you have chosen a challenging path, but it is a noble one. By joining the Fargo Police Department, you have become part of a proud and rich tradition of service. This is a tradition built by officers who came before you and by officers who are currently serving the Fargo PD. I can't express how grateful I am for all those officers, past and present, for what they have done to make our police department an outstanding agency that earns the trust of our community every day. I know the 9 of you will honor this tradition, add to it with your good deeds and with your bravery and your compassion. I know all of you will make Fargo stronger, safer, and even more resilient. So I wish you all the best. Congratulations, and thank you for joining the Fargo Police Force.
Thank you, Mayor. We certainly do have a variety of backgrounds and experiences here in Academy number 7. We concur with the mayor that that common purpose of serving our community and keeping it safe is extremely important. But that desire cannot be taught or feigned. That dedication to serve must be internalized and unwavering in its commitment. And we see that in our 9 new officers. They completed a rigorous academy that you're going to hear more about shortly. And they've been committed since day one. And now we're at the next juncture in this really noble career where they're getting set to graduate and go out and hit the bricks, as we would say, and learn the skills that they learned in the academy. Each academy class is remembered for something unique. Something always happens in an academy class, right? So what happened in Academy 7? Well, you're the first academy to do 18 weeks of training. That's an additional 5, right, Lieutenant? Yes, additional 5 weeks above and beyond the prior 6. Now, that doesn't make you superior, but that does make you 5 more weeks trained before you hit the streets, right? So we're constantly striving to increase our training and development of our new officers, and we've added a lot of stuff in. So these folks are going to be have the benefit of some additional training. Additionally, a couple other little neat things. While we have on our department currently twins and spouses, we've never had 2 officers with essentially the same name. So we currently have James A. Phillips. I think he was Academy 5. And now we've got James D. Phillips in this class. So we've had to develop some different names for everyone so we can keep it straight. But kind of unique. Very nice. Also, a lot of other cool things happened during this academy. 2 of our academy soon-to-be graduates got married. Princeton and Emma on June 29th, a couple weeks into the academy. And Joseph and Sasha, kind of newlyweds, they got married on Friday. That did happen, right, Joe? Okay, excellent, excellent. He's here to graduate, and I'm sure that they're ready to start their new life as well, so there's like double excitement going on today. And if you throw in one of our lead instructors, newly promoted Sergeant Ian Christon, he also got married during the academy. So a lot of nuptials occurred during this academy, which is all good. Folks, you've come a long way since day one when we met. Over those last 18 weeks, you transitioned from a group in a room to a team. Prepared and dedicated, shared values, pulling the rope in the same direction, assisting each other along the way to accomplish your goals and the team goals of our department. Your academy team is now poised to integrate into the larger FPD team, where your efforts will assist organizational and community goals as we strive to attain our vision of a safe and unified community built on trust, accountability, and inclusion. You're joining a healthy and positive culture. The mayor talked about tradition. Tradition is important. Our culture is what steers us on a day-to-day basis, right? So you're joining a healthy and positive culture that is committed to your well-being and development, as well as an integral part of our value system. We do this by enhancing leadership and training, strengthening community relationships, and continuing to grow a forward-thinking department. We are the best led, best trained, best equipped department in the United States. We intend to keep striving for that. And every time we add new folks like yourself, that sustaining continues. We're able to keep that moving along, right? Every time we do academy class, I'm thinking, at some point, somewhere in here is the next sergeant, lieutenant, captain, assistant chief, chief. Is anyone going to be the chief? You keep it to yourself right now? Okay. All right. But that's true, right? Somewhere those folks are in our ranks, and it's our responsibility to get them ready for all those positions. You're also joining a noble profession that is necessary and an important component of our democratic republic. Good policing will always be needed. The police will never be extinguished, gone, not here. We will always have the police. Just as we've had throughout our history, we have to be flexible and adaptable, and we certainly are in a profession, but at this department as well, to lead that way and to continue to be an important part of what we represent in our democracy. I'm confident you'll represent yourselves, our department, our city, and our profession well. I and all of us are extremely proud of all of you. You worked hard and committed yourselves to the values and ideals of our profession. I congratulate you on a successful completion of phase 1 of a long and rewarding career with the Fargo Police Department. So nice job, and thank you for everything you've done so far. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our class speaker, Chloe Bartles.
Good morning. On the first day of the academy, as we all sat silently, not speaking to one another, as we would do for the first couple of weeks, Chief Cebulski and the instructors instilled in us the importance of the Fargo Police Department core values. These values are not just words, but a standard we will live by every day, on and off duty. If we hold ourselves to that standard, we will have long, successful careers. As I started to reflect on the past 18 weeks, I couldn't help but see a few different values pop out that we as Academy students displayed. Those values included growth, accountability, passion, and teamwork. I can guarantee the people you see before you today are not the same people who started 18 weeks ago, as we have all grown. Growth can mean a lot of things, but most simply broken down into physical, mental, and spiritual growth. During the first run we did as a class, I'd begun to fall behind the group, and the only person that was behind me was Joseph. I wanted nothing more than for him to just pass me and join the rest of the group, but as I turned to look at him, all he said was no, as if he could read my mind. Joseph could have passed me, but instead he chose to stay behind me, and it was the encouragement I needed to push harder. That gesture may seem small, but if it was not for Joseph and my other classmates, I would not be where I am physically today. Mental wellness is also extremely important, specifically mental toughness. We have all built up mental toughness throughout the help of our instructors. Initially, through the hours and hours and hours of classroom presentations, in which Sam Johnson would not have survived without his 5 energy drinks a day. Then through tough PT workouts and scenario training days where we all pushed ourselves past what we ever imagined possible. As Sergeant Criston would say, we locked in and put in the hard work needed to grow. Lastly, spiritual growth has been very important to this class. I won't get into much detail about my own faith or the faith of my classmates, but if it were not for Princeton, I would have never explored my own spirituality. His faith is a crucial part of his life, and spreading the word to others is his specialty, and I am forever grateful to him for that. The next value we displayed, which is also a Fargo PD core value, was accountability. We as a class had a very high standard for how we carried ourselves every day. From being on time to class, most days, to owning up to our mistakes and whatever consequences might come with it, Class 7 prided ourselves on holding each other accountable for every action, no matter how small and no matter how many push-ups we had to do because of it. The third value we displayed was passion. Someone who displayed passion for this job and had a big impact on our academy was Sergeant Essler. Sergeant Essler's impact on this academy was not only huge, but crucial. Without his guidance and wisdom, we would not be the people we are today. He is someone who has demonstrated passion for the job and an instructor we all looked up to. Specifically, Sergeant Essler emphasized the importance of finding our why, finding our individual reasons for why we show up every day and train. Having that passion drives us to do this job, a job so many people shy away from. Throughout the academy, each one of you has displayed passion for the job. James, you applied yourself every day in class and continued your training constantly off the clock, all while balancing a second job and being in the military. Sam Gravetti, you always held yourself to a high standard and worked hard every day to be the best. Princeton, you have overcome so much and you continue to show up day in and day out to put in the hard work you know you need to do to succeed. There was no one else in this class more knowledgeable and passionate about this job than you are. Logan, your work ethic and discipline is unmatched by anyone I've ever met before, and you have the best jokes. Sam Johnson, you never failed to ask a question or learn from your mistakes. You showed up every day ready to learn and push yourself. Taylor, you are someone who never failed to push yourself in all aspects of our training. Whether it was a tough workout or a scenario, you would push through and persevere. O'Shane, you showed up every day with the biggest smile on your face. I've never seen anyone more positive. You were eager to learn to become a better officer every day. Joseph, you came into the academy with so many skills to pass on to us, and you were always the first to answer the tough questions. For all these individual reasons, my classmates have proven every day that they are extremely passionate about this job and ready to continue to work hard to be the best. They are a group of people I am extremely excited to move into this career with. The last value we displayed as Academy Class 7 was teamwork. As Officer Paul Nelson told us, you never want to be the best or the smartest in the room, but surround yourselves with others who have more skills than you do. I don't know everything, which I'm sure my mom is really excited to hear me admit, but I've been surrounded by classmates who I've learned so much from. Each one of you has given me just as much wisdom and knowledge as my instructors. You are a group of people I look up to and I strive to be like, even if I did not always express it. I am envious of your drive, your passion, strength, knowledge, and confidence. I hope you can see these qualities in yourself because I and so many people here see them in you. As a class, we worked together through challenging situations that brought us closer together, and it is for that reason we will be forever bonded. To end with a quote from Brianna West, everything you've ever dreamed, wanted, worked for, wished for, and are waiting for stems from this moment. What you do now is not just something, it's everything. For the brave may not live forever, but the cautious don't live at all. Thank you.
Excellent job, Chloe. Looks like you're a natural. That's good. To give you a little insight into what happened during during the academy timeframe, our communications team has done an excellent job, and they're here throughout the whole process taking photos, but they also create videos of all of our folks, and they memorialize their time in the academy, some of the easy, difficult tasks that they had to do. Prepared a really nice video for you to watch to get some insight into what's been happening in the last 18 weeks. So stay tuned.
Before I joined the academy, I worked in manufacturing and I was a manager there. I grew up in Moorhead, Minnesota, went to high school there, and then I went to NDSU where I got my bachelor's. I got my bachelor's in business administration.
Before the academy, I worked in corrections for 2 years, and I also worked for juvenile drug court, and I interned for a couple police departments throughout college. I grew up in Sartell, Minnesota. It's a suburb of St. Cloud. So while in high school, I attended classes at St. Cloud Technical and Community College, and then transferred to the University of North Dakota to finish my bachelor's degree in criminal justice.
I grew up in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Before I joined the academy, I worked in a warehouse. I graduated high school. I did PSCO through M-State in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, and then I got a career transition degree from Alexandria Technical College and got a bachelor's from American Public University.
Before the academy, I played college football, and I was also working for a sheriff's office. I'm from Chicago, Illinois originally. I grew up wanting to be a police officer. I have family members that was in law enforcement. My uncle is a current Chicago police officer, and my granddad was a Chicago detective.
Before I came to the Fargo Police Academy, I was working as a delivery driver. I grew up in a suburb of Chicago called Riverside, Illinois. I've wanted to be a police officer ever since I was a little kid.
My career before joining the academy was actually landscaping. And landscaping goes not just grass. We built decks and synthetic grass, and built fences, you name it. For the younger years of my life, I grew up in Jamaica, and then for the older part of my life, I grew up in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota.
So before joining the police academy, I was actually in school. I went to Minot State University. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice there, and then I went and got my master's degree in sports management. So I graduated in May, right before our academy started in June. I grew up in Rapid City, South Dakota for most of my life. I was born in California, moved to Washington, and then in about 5th grade, I've been in South Dakota ever since.
Before the academy, I was working in retail while I attended school over in Moorhead. I went to the M-State Tech School. I grew up in Gonvick, Minnesota, small little town about 40 minutes northwest of Bemidji.
Before I joined the academy, I was kind of part of the construction realm, but not the actual building. I did more of the operating, and I focused more on the construction of new homes. I grew up right across the river. I lived in Dilworth, Minnesota. After a deployment, I finally was able to buy my own home, and so I currently live in Moorhead, Minnesota, so not too far.
I feel like my confidence has definitely increased a lot. I was kind of shy before, but now I'm growing out of that, and now I feel like I'm a very good leader.
I think the thing that I've grown in the most at the academy is the physical aspect of it. In high school, I did swimming and a bunch of that stuff, and then obviously getting to college, you're not working out as much. Getting into the academy and really working on that physical fitness has been one of my favorite parts. Just doing PT every day, doing all the physical training has just been really fun and really brings us closer together as a class too.
It's been really cool. It's definitely a special experience to be able to have the academy in the place where you're going to be working after, and I think it's going to help me a lot as I go forward in my career. You get to see all the different people from officers to civilian positions around the department that you'll be working with for years to come, be it evidence or records or whoever.
Working with TDU, these are people that's teaching us how the department run things. It's not just, you go over to wherever you go for the academy and then you come here and you have to learn what it's like to be a cop here in Fargo. You're actually learning from cops in Fargo how to be a cop in Fargo. You're walking through the halls and seeing cops, in Fargo.
One thing I didn't expect so much, and it was a really pleasant surprise, was how much the instructors care and just their knowledge. Like, they're not there just to have you check a paper that, oh yeah, we did this training, but they actually care that you understand how to do it, that you're doing it correctly, that they want you to succeed and do well. They're not there to just check boxes.
As it regards to the TDU officers themselves, the training officers, they have experience on the street, and it helps because there's different personas. They always tell us this is not the way, this is a way. And that's engraved. Everybody has their own different method. One instructor way might not work for you, but the other one might stick out. So I think that's very beneficial. They coming in with the necessary experience. We have officers, we got sergeants, we got people on SWAT. So the diversity that's in TDU is really beneficial, and the program being here at the headquarters definitely helps.
I think the biggest surprise for me was just kind of the difficulty of it all, but in a good way. It's been very challenging, but also rewarding. Being in college and being an athlete in the past, I kind of thought getting into this that I've already done homework, I've already done schoolwork, and then actually learning it and learning all different new stuff that I'm not familiar with. It was definitely a challenge, but I've learned so much more from that.
My favorite day would have to be probably the worst day at the same time with OC spray.
Least favorite was pepper spray.
I think my worst day, probably getting OC spray.
The biggest surprise was probably getting tased. I did not think it would hurt that bad, or the 5 seconds it lasts. It feels like an eternity when you're getting tased.
My heart had to be, I was so scared I was gonna have a heart attack when I did it, because my heart was just going a million miles a minute as I was going up there. And then, of course, with mine, like I couldn't have been any more terrified. They go taser, 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 deploy, 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 press the button, and it doesn't go off. They were like, this has never happened before. I was like, of course it has to happen for me.
When we were done with it, we could all, as a class, and instructors joke around about it, say we finally did it, checked it off the list, one of the big major things we had to check off, and just kind of put it in the past and be able to look at it and laugh, but not ever want to do that again. So,
Going through all the scenario days, it certainly shows exactly where you struggle and exactly where you need to learn. And I mean, for me personally, I've seen it where in the moment, I'm kind of second guessing my options or what I should be doing. But the moment I take a breath and kind of read the room and read the situation, that's kind of where everything comes back into play. And the cadre here for the Academy has done a great job at making sure that we know the material before going into it, because these scenarios will translate onto the street once we get out there.
So I think it really helped having a big classroom portion in the beginning of the academy where we really honed in on the laws and those more educational side of it. And then moving into scenarios, obviously you're nervous, you're gonna forget it all, and it really just shows that the training works because you just kind of do what you're supposed to do, and you don't really have to think about it because we spent so much time in the classroom, so it's helped a lot.
It's very evident that the training officers care about our wellness and our well-being, as well as the actual training that we're going to do. I think going through this and having these specific trainers that have such an emphasis on our well-being and our training, that we're going to be so prepared for when we get into the real thing. And we're also going to know that we're going to have those same officers and other officers in the department that are still going to be with us every day moving forward.
I remember Officer Novacek saying the first day of the academy, we were all sitting there awkward, quiet, not really talking to anyone. And he said to embrace it because by the end of the first week or week 2, you guys are all going to be best friends. And honestly, I thought he was lying, just saying that just because he's one of the instructors. But by probably the end of the second week, I could say like all the people in the class at the time were like truly my best friends. And then now coming to the end of the academy, like I would honestly do anything for those guys. I know I could reach out to them any time of the day and they'd be there for me and I would be there for them. So this has been truly, the Academy's been a fun time growing in myself and growing with friendships that honestly didn't think I'd make.
The relationships I've built in this class has honestly been lifelong. I respect each of the individuals who I show up every morning with and go through classroom, go through scenarios. It sounds a little corny, but honestly, the people who I kind of work with are probably going to be my best friends. Those are the people who I enjoy being with. I love coming to work with them and kind of getting their side of things, especially in scenarios. It goes a long ways because sometimes maybe you're not always right. And being able to take that critique from others and listen to others' ideas is what just grows you as a person.
What I'm looking forward to the most, I think, is just being able to put everything I've learned into practice and finally being able to use those skills and being able to do what I want to do.
I'm really blessed and super fortunate to have this job and be in the position that I'm in. And I just want to say thank you for TDU and Fargo Police Department.
Awesome video. And I should clarify one thing. We don't hit them with the OC and tase them to torture them, although there's a small benefit to that. But it is really so that they understand what happens if someone gets this tool, right? What happens if someone gets my taser or my OC, or someone has a taser OC? How do I fight through that? What are my options? And so that's why that's part of the training, an important piece, just like every other tool and piece of equipment that we have. So I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Troy Handig here. He's going to cover the Academy instructors and presentations of awards. I just want to take a minute to also thank him and our TDU team, they are exceptional. You heard on the video, but they really are exceptional trainers, dedicated to the mission of the department, as well as our executive team, Assistant Chief Stefanowicz, Captain Helmick, Captain Allfelt, and Captain Christensen are here as well. So we just have a really great leadership team from top to bottom, and appreciate all of their efforts. Lieutenant Hannig.
Good morning. So as the chief said, I'm Lieutenant Troy Hannig, and I'm very blessed to serve on our department's training and development team. Our department is very lucky because we've got a lot of very talented instructors and subject matter experts, which do the bulk of our training throughout the 18-week police academy. But amongst those instructors, we have a very dedicated group of training and development officers and sergeants that really take the majority of this academy as their primary role. So these 5 individuals not only do the recruiting and hiring before the academy, they also do all the behind the scenes logistics in addition to completing the bulk of the instruction. These 5 are tasked with coaching, mentoring, and setting the example for our academy recruits so we can begin to develop the proper culture, instill the service mindset, and exemplify the department values that we want to ingrain in our officers. Simply stated, without this team's hard work and dedication, the Fargo Police Academy would not be possible. So I'm going to invite these 5 up at this time. Sergeant Brandon Kerr, Officer John Novacek, Sergeant Sean Gamrant, Sergeant Ian Christon, and Officer Chris Cassandro. So in addition to these 5, I also want to recognize 3 other members of our training and development team. 2 of them have recently transitioned back to patrol. One has been on transitional duty and has helped us a great deal throughout this academy. The 2 that have went back to patrol played an integral role early on in the academy. And the one that's on transitional duty, it was a blessing in disguise that he got an injury because he was able to help us out through the academy, which made a huge difference for us. So I'd like to recognize them. It's Sergeant Travis Berger, Sergeant Rob Essler, and Officer Paul Nelson. Huge help. Please give all these trainers a hand. So as part of our academy, we continually monitor the performance of our recruits, and we celebrate their hard work by awarding those who perform at the highest level in various aspects of our training. The members of the Training and Development Unit will explain what each award consists of and announce each of the award recipients for Class 7. So the first award, the Valedictorian Award, will be presented by Sergeant Brandon Kerr.
The Valedictorian Award is given to the student who finished with the highest overall grade point average. We cover a wide range of complex topics in the academy, and students are assessed through various practical knowledge applications and written exams, including the post-certification test. I would like to congratulate Chloe Bartles with the Valedictorian Award for outstanding academic achievement during this academy.
The next award will be the Top Gun Award, presented by Officer John Novacek.
Firearms proficiency, familiarity, and safety is a necessity for students as they transition into their law enforcement careers. This student showed great attention to detail in regards to firearm safety, skill improvement, and overall performance. The student also performed at a high level during our competition shoots, which included various time speed shooting competitions to include the Bill Drill, El Presidente, and the High Smith Drill. I would like to congratulate Prince Harris with Top Gun Award for his excellence in all of these areas.
The next award will be the Top Gear Award, presented by Sergeant Sean Gamrat.
The Top Gear Award, one of the courses of instruction is Emergency Vehicle Operations Course, or EVOC. The course encompasses numerous skills officers need to perform proficiently at when an ability to respond to emergency calls. During the EVOC course, students are subject to several obstacles, including serpentine, evasive maneuvers, and controlled braking. Students then race through the final challenge course, which includes all of the obstacles as well as some additional ones. This award is given to the student who passes the course with the fastest time and the fewest penalties, also known as hitting cones. I would like to congratulate James D. Phillips, right? with the Top Gear Award for completing the final challenge course in 1 minute and 32 seconds with no cones.
The next award is the Fargo Way Award, presented by Sergeant Ian Christon.
Over the course of 18 weeks, students have been constantly tested and evaluated in their performance, both academically and physically. The Fargo Way Award is earned by the student who displayed a hardworking attitude and determination no matter what task they faced. This student displayed resilience, ownership, and set the standard every day for their classmates. They displayed all of our core values, but most notably, professional, accountable, and officer wellness. I would like to congratulate Prince Harris with the Fargo Way Award for his exemplary character and determination throughout the academy.
And the final award is the PRA Award, presented by Officer Chris Cassandro.
The PRA, or Physical Readiness Assessment, is a physical test that all Academy students must pass in order to graduate the Academy. The PRA includes an obstacle course that is meant to imitate the stress involved in a foot pursuit, a dynamic weighted control machine, similar to dealing with a resisted suspect, and a heavy bag carry to simulate a downed officer or a civilian rescue. All of these obstacles are designed to mimic tasks an officer may be asked to complete at a moment's notice. This award goes to the student who posted the fastest official time. I would like to congratulate James Phillips with the PRA award for a posted time of 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
Thank you to our TDU members. Give them another round of applause, please. Academy graduates will each be awarded a certificate for their successful completion of the Academy. I'll now begin to call each recruit up individually for a presentation of the certificates. Chloe Bartles. Logan Fisher. Samuel Gravetti. Princeton Harris. Samuel Johnson. Joseph Perman. James D. Phillips. Taylor Rapsky. O'Shane West. I'll now turn it over back to the chief for the badge presentation and pinning.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so graduation complete. We don't check too many boxes, but I guess you can check that one. That's good. A couple things as we lead into the badge pinning, just to keep in mind as you progress through your career. Next phase, PTO training. You'll be transitioning from the referential knowledge that you learned in the academy to now putting that into functional knowledge on the street. So all those things are happening simultaneously, often in seconds, often under stress, within short time constraints. That's a skill that's constantly developed with experience. It's also a necessity that may not wait for time, right? You could get out there on day one and you got to make a quick decision. So always make your best decision, right? Doing the right things for the right reasons, and you're going to be just fine. Know that you've been prepared for that challenge, and we're confident that you will do so once you get out there. Your family and your peer support, very important. We've got families here from Illinois, Kentucky, I probably missed a state, but from all over the place that are here for this really big day for all of you. You need them, you need your peers to help keep you grounded, assist you through the ups and downs of sometimes difficult career journey. So make sure that you're staying in touch with them, and it's a little weird because they have night shifts, so you'll have to resolve that as you move forward, but work that stuff out, okay? Your wellness, your mental resiliency, and intestinal fortitude will also be important for you as well. So mental resiliency is knowing that you're doing the right things for the right reasons in spite of criticism, right? Sometimes it's criticism standing right there, and sometimes it's criticism in the wonderful world of social media, okay? Don't worry about it. Know that you're doing the right thing, move forward. Intestinal fortitude allows you to take those difficult steps, right? When you're in a difficult situation, a position where maybe a lot of people would be hesitant to take action, it's one of our duties and obligations, right? So the resiliency and the fortitude helps see you through in those difficult times, from the uncomfortable and the traumatic to the heartwarming and the invigorating. And you'll have many of those as well. There's a lot of really positive things that happen throughout the course of your career. You can continue to have fun and enjoy what you're doing. Wellness helps you keep physically, mentally, and financially well. It allows you to take care of yourself, enabling you to take care of our community. So if you aren't well, hard for you to take care of others. I encourage you to engage in our department wellness and peer support teams, our chaplaincy program. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help. We are well positioned with a lot of resources that you've already heard about, but don't forget those. If you need assistance, all you need to do is ask, and we're here to support you on that. And there's just 5 other things I want you to keep in mind as you go forward. Number one, and I heard at least one person mention this already, right? You need to be a leader. Just because you're a brand new cop, now you might not see yourself that way, but when you're on the street, the community looks up to you for leadership, right? Eventually you're going to get up to different positions where you have folks behind you, right? Academy 8's not too far down the road. They'll be looking for leadership and assistance, right? So leaders have to be able to influence human behavior to achieve organizational goals. So we can do a lot of things, but influence is not stars and bars, badges and guns, statutory authority. We have all of those things. But if we have influence, we can get a lot done with a lot less effort. And that's developed through relationships, right? The relationships you talked about with your classmates already, that internal relationship that you'll continue to build throughout the department. But most importantly, the external relationships with our community. When you're out on your beat, you start getting to know people, you have familiarity with people that live in the area that you patrol, etc. Building those relationships helps you a lot. If we need someone to do something where maybe it doesn't even make sense, but because one of you asked them to do it and you have that relationship, boom, they're cooperative, right? I mean, the law is based on the fact most people follow the law. So if we can build those relationships and continue to do that, you'll have a lot of influence and you'll be very successful. Skepticism is healthy. It's good. We want you to ask questions. A lot of you have done that throughout the course of the 18 weeks. But cynicism is very detrimental to you and our profession. So we are in a continual learning environment. Continue to ask questions. Don't be afraid to fail, because that's an opportunity to learn. Okay, again, as long as you're doing the right things for the right reasons, we stand behind you on that. 3, never take your position for granted. So you put in a really hard 18 weeks, and you've got 18 plus years in front of you. Right? Remember how you feel today, how excited you are to soon be pinning that badge on and going out with the privilege of protecting our community. You should feel like that every day you go to work, and you can have fun doing that. It's an enjoyable job. There are tragedies that you have to deal with, but by and large, you can enjoy what you're doing. You can enjoy the team and the culture and the environment, and you can be proud every day when you put that badge out and you go out and you work for Fargo Police in our community. So don't forget that. 4th, everything you do is important, right? There's nothing insignificant. So people are always watching what we do, even when you think they're not. We know the ones that are because they'll go on social media and tell us about it right away. We don't worry about that. there's a lot of people that see the really good work that you do that we may not know about. Your phone call, your investigation, a random call for service, a traffic investigation, a crime scene investigation. You know, we recently received a really nice letter from a community member who just wanted to comment on how impacted he was by the work of one of our officers dealing with a homeless person downtown who was in a bad situation, a crisis, if you will, and how compassionate and helpful, but yet, got the job done in terms of helping this person out and alleviating the call. And we don't always get those letters, but we get them fairly regularly. And so it's good for you to know that people are paying attention to the good things that you're doing. And lastly, remember your purpose. And I think Chloe talked about the why, right? Our purpose. Our purpose is to protect the vulnerable from harm while preserving life, peace, and property in that order. Right, so the preservation of life, number one, protecting the vulnerable from harm. That could be anyone in our community on any given day. It could be one of us on any given day, right? Anyone could potentially be the victim of a crime. We may need assistance. That's our role. That's our purpose. Plato famously said, in a republic that honors the core of democracy, the greatest amount of authority and power is given to those called guardians. Only those with the most impeccable character are chosen to bear the responsibility of protecting the democracy. That's what you are. You are guardians now for our community, and as a part of our democratic republic, you're the armed representatives of that effort. And so that's a difficult task. Sometimes it's really peaceful and easy, and sometimes it's extremely difficult and stressful. But you have that role, and we stand behind you as you develop those skills and keep our community safe. Remember that policing is imperfect, right? It's a noble profession, but we're human. Again, you'll make errors. There's great risk and stress, great responsibility and expectation, but there's also greater intrinsic reward and satisfaction. We have a lot more good days than bad days. We're in a challenging environment today. We've been there for a while. I can tell you over the course of a longer career, you'll see many of these different eras erupt, up and down with different challenges, different things that we have to do to maintain the trust and the respect of the public while carrying out our public safety mission. You're joining a resilient team dedicated to protecting our community and you. We want to thank you for joining it. We look forward to your success. And congratulations again, Academy number 7. All right, ready for some badges? Okay. Before we give you badges, there's one other philosophical thing that you need to know, the meaning of the badge. So most people never really think about this too much, but the badge that we wear isn't just a badge. It has a lot of greater meaning to it. And it goes all the way back to the ancient Romans, the centurions who guarded Rome. They had huge shields they carried in their left hand, protecting your heart, vital organ area, right? And that's how they did it. Over the years, as law enforcement developed and the badge shrunk down to the shield that we now wear, it still goes over your heart. It's a sign of public trust that we can never tarnish. And we don't want to lose that public trust. On top of the shield sits an eagle, which makes a lot of sense because that's a symbol of our country. But actually, police and the eagle share a greater symbolism. Eagles nurture their young. They develop their young, they got them high up in the nest, and at some point they're going to teach them to fly. And when they think they're ready, they push them out of the nest and watch what happens. And if they go flop, flop around and they're not flying, the eagle swoops down, picks them up, brings them back up to the nest. Right? Don't let those folks fail. Don't let those new eagles fail. If they fly, they come back up to the nest and they're rewarded with food. So in the police service, we provide donuts or bagels or some other health food that you're probably eating now, but there's nothing wrong with a donut. So when you get to your PTOs, they're kind of like that eagle. At some point, they're going to push you out of the nest and see how you do. They're not going to put you in a compromising position, but they do need to evaluate your ability and then take it from there and make sure that you know what you don't know. Eagles also hunt and work in pairs, and they have incredible vision, which we also need. They have incredible strength in their claws. If you've ever seen any of these eagle videos, it's incredible. They grab the fish. Some of them go completely underwater, and they come out with this big fish, and they keep on going. That's the kind of strength and resiliency that our police need and have as well. And when there's a storm coming, all the other animals in the forest bail out because there's a storm coming. Eagles rise up above the storm and go towards it, and when the storm passes, they come back down and resettle. Just like every call we go on, we go towards the storm. We don't really know what we're going to. We don't know what the call consists of. We don't know what's going to happen when we get there, but we're going to the storm. And that's what our police officers do every day. So very important. And they do so with, again, the character and the integrity. If we're going to get there, we're going to help someone, we're going to resolve the problem and fix what's wrong. So very important to understand when you put that badge on that it has a lot of meaning to it. All right, so we'll get to the actual pinning here. We always have our new officers, our promotees, et cetera, get to pick who's going to pin their badge on. There is no time limitation to this effort. It is an opportunity for you and your loved one or selected individual to put that badge on, and we'll call you up with your chosen person. You'll have a nice photo opportunity as well. Our first officer to receive, we're going to go alphabetical, Chloe Bartles and her grandfather, Bill. How are you doing so far? Hug your grandfather. There you go. Yes, thank you. All right, nicely done. Logan Fisher and his twin brother, Landon. Don't act like you've never poked him before. Sam Gravetti and his father, Roger. Princeton Harrison and his wife, Emma. Sam Johnson and his parents Douglas and Robin. Joseph Perman and his father Greg. James Phillips and Sergeant Christy Jacobson. Taylor Rapsky and his parents Douglas and Brenda. Well, Shane West and his wife Alejandra and son Mateo. There you go. All right, excellent work. I will, administer the law enforcement oath of honor. If you would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. On my honor, I will never betray my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always maintain the highest ethical standards and uphold the values of my community and the agency I serve. Very good. Congratulations, everybody. Nice job. So as you can see, we've got a really excellent group of young and aspiring new officers to help join our team. We're really excited. Proud to have them as part of our Fargo PD team. We know they're going to do a great job for the city of Fargo. And we just can't kind of wait. Look forward to seeing their successes. So that will conclude our ceremony. I want to thank everyone for your attendance today. What we'll be doing next is our Fargo PD reception line. So our command staff and our staff folks will start going this direction, congratulating them. All of you are certainly welcome to do so. Just follow after the Corps of Officers here. You can walk on through and congratulate everyone. And after that, we will clear, and our comms team will arrange for family photos with our command staff, the whole 9 yards. They'll run that show. So if you can hang around, you'll get all the photos that you would like. We'll make sure that you get those to you. So thank you again. Let's have one more round of applause for our new officers, please.